With the potential for a lot of investment opportunities to pop up in the next 12 to 24 months in the multifamily sector specifically, for reasons we talked about in a recent video on the channel, now is the time to come up with a strategy for where you want to focus your acquisition efforts. But if you're trying to do this, a lot of the best market research tools out there are locked behind a paywall, requiring costly monthly subscriptions that just aren't feasible for the majority of individual investors. Fortunately though, even if you're not working for a company that pays for access to these databases, there are still some great options out there that are available for free to analyze a market. So in this video, to make sure you know both what these resources are and where to look for this information, we'll break down my favorite market research resources for the multifamily product type specifically that don't require an expensive paid subscription, so you can identify the markets that are most poised for growth in both the short and the long term. So the first thing that I like to do to get familiar with a market is to get a high-level sense of the performance of the metro overall by taking a look at things like current market rents, current occupancy rates, and historical data on both of these metrics. And to get started with this process, the first step to find this information is to just run a simple Google search with the language X-City Multifamily Market Report, followed by the most recently completed quarter with about a 30 to 60 day lag to allow these to come together. For example, if I were researching the Denver multifamily market in September of 2023, I would use a search term Denver Multifamily Market Report Q2 2023, which will bring up a lot of different options with the information that I'm looking for. And when you do this, you'll notice that many of these search results will be from the research arms of some of the biggest brokerage firms in the country, including companies like CBRE, Cushman & Wakefield, Berkadia, Colliers, Marcus & Millichap, and Northmark, with these companies often releasing quarterly reports covering many major markets across the US. Each of these reports is going to provide slightly different information, but most of these are going to include data on things like current market rents, current occupancy levels, recent changes to both rents and occupancy levels in the market, and also incoming supply statistics that might affect rents and occupancy in the market going forward. Some reports will also zoom in on things like employment data, rent growth, or occupancy levels broken down by submarket, or even information on recent transactions and the biggest buyers and sellers that are active in the metro. And even though Yardi Matrix is one of those popular paid research databases, Yardi actually publishes regular free market reports, which also often include similar information on current rents, population changes, and supply growth over time. And in addition to general operating data to get a feel for pricing in a given market, I also like to look at both current and historical cap rates in each metro, and the resource that I often turn to for this is the semi-annual cap rate survey released by CBRE. The main reason why I like this report so much is that CBRE not only breaks down cap rate information by market and product type, but also by properties located in infill versus suburban areas and stabilized versus value add acquisition opportunities. For all of this information, you'll notice that each of these companies will come to slightly different conclusions, and rent and occupancy figures in these reports tend to vary based on internal calculation methods at each firm, but by aggregating data from multiple resources, this can give you a great sense of what's happening in a given market today and the near-term changes that you can expect to things like occupancy and market rents. Now, once I have a general sense of what's happening in a market, I often try to dig a little bit deeper into market rent specifically, since this is one of the most impactful metrics overall to multifamily investment performance. While many of the reports put together by these brokerage and research firms will include some level of granularity on this, historical rents usually aren't available in an easy to analyze format, and these also usually are aggregated only at the metro level as a whole. But since the exact micro-location of a deal can heavily impact performance, and very recent changes in rents aren't necessarily indicative of long-term averages in a market, also including sub-market data and historical rent information as far back as possible are really important pieces to add within a market analysis. And to gather this information, the best free resource that I've found is actually a resource that's most commonly used by single-family home buyers and investors, and this is Zillow Housing Data. Zillow tracks what it refers to as the Zillow Observed Rent Index and provides free, downloadable historical rent information on single-family homes and multifamily properties aggregated together, which is also broken down by MSA, county, city, and even specific zip codes directly in a CSV file to make your analysis easy. As of August of 2023, Zillow tracks market data back as early as the beginning of 2015 in many US markets, allowing you to see the trajectory of rents over time in almost 7,000 US zip codes. I like to use this information to do things like calculate the compound annual rent growth over time in a market, pinpoint any dips or slowdowns in rent growth that have occurred in recent years, and also to gather this information on a specific submarket or specific zip code that isn't going to be broken out in a general market report. Now, Zillow does often change their website interface and also the data sets that they make available online, so this may be different at the time that you're watching this video, but as of September of 2023, this is one of the best free market research resources that I've found if you're looking to take a much deeper dive into historical market rents. Now, market rents are usually a byproduct of the supply and demand dynamics in a market, which makes these two factors also extremely important when researching an area, which leads into the final two resources that I want to highlight in this video, which are construction pipeline reports and local population data. For construction data, Berkadia offers the most comprehensive free resources I've found, releasing quarterly construction pipeline reports that tend to be extremely detailed and provide a lot of information. These reports track development projects that are prospective, planned, currently under construction, and also currently in lease-up, with the exact location of each project shown in an easy-to-read map view, and these also include the number of units to be built at each specific development location. And on the demand side of things, the US Census Bureau website tends to be my go-to resource to analyze population changes over time, offering historical, downloadable population estimates in Excel format for individual MSAs, which can show you where people are moving right now and where demand for housing might be highest on a market-by-market basis. The most recent report, which tracks data from 2020 through 2022, includes information on almost 2,800 counties and MSAs across the US and provides total population figures as well as net changes to those numbers, which you can then compare with supply growth projections in each market and the number of multifamily units that are expected to come online. Ultimately, even though paid research databases have a lot of benefits, there are still a lot of available free resources that you can use to analyze a multifamily market, and these are some of my personal favorites to get a sense of what's currently happening in a metro, what has happened in the past, and what might happen in the future based on changes to supply and demand. And if you want to learn more about multifamily investment analysis or how to build out your own multifamily acquisition and development models from scratch in Excel, as always, make sure to check out our all-in-one membership training platform, Breaking into CRE Academy. A membership to the Academy will give you instant access to over 120 hours of video training on real estate financial modeling and analysis. You'll get access to hundreds of practice Excel interview exam questions, sample acquisition case studies, and you'll also get access to the Break into CRE Analyst Certification exam, which covers topics like real estate pro forma and development modeling, commercial real estate lease modeling, equity waterfall modeling, and many other real estate financial analysis concepts that will help you prove to employers that you have what it takes to tackle the responsibilities of an analyst or associate at a top real estate firm. And if you like this video and want to see more content on the channel on real estate market analysis, make sure to hit the like button and let me know. And let me know in the comments any other resources that you commonly use to research an area. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more videos like this every single week, and I'll see you in the next video.